16-year-old Casey had babysat for a lot of families in her neighborhood, but the Marlowe family was the first one that gave her a rule she wasn't allowed to break. It wasn't written down. Mrs. Marlowe said it out loud, slowly, the way you'd explain something to a child. Even though Casey was the one being hired to watch her kids, after 9 o'clock, the hallway door stays shut. Doesn't matter what you hear, doesn't matter what they ask you, it stays shut. Casey laughed a little because it sounded like something out of a movie. Mrs. Marlowe didn't laugh back. "I'm serious, Casey. I need you to say it back to me." So Casey said it back. The hallway door stays shut after 9, and the Marlowes left for their anniversary dinner, and Casey figured she just landed the easiest $60 of her life, because the two kids, Tyler, who was 8, and Emma, who was 5, seemed like the kind of quiet, polite kids who'd be asleep by 8:30 anyway. She was right. Mostly, she got them fed, got them into pajamas, read Emma a book about a dragon who was afraid of butterflies. By 8:45, both kids were in their rooms with the lights off. Casey went downstairs, turned on the TV low, and texted her friend Priya that this job was basically free money. At 9:11, she heard the floor creak upstairs. She didn't think much of it. Old houses creak. But then she heard it again, slower this time, like something testing its weight on each board before committing to the next one. She went up to check on the kids and found Emma's door cracked open. The little girl standing in the hallway in her nightgown, facing the door at the end of the hall. The hallway door, the one that was supposed to stay shut. It was shut. Emma was just standing in front of it. "Hey, Bug, you're supposed to be in bed," Casey said, keeping her voice light. Emma didn't turn around right away. When she did, her face had the flat, unbothered look kids get when they are about to say something they don't understand is strange. "He's counting again," Emma said. "Who's counting?" "The man who lives past the door. He counts real slow when he's mad we didn't let him out." Casey's stomach did something small and cold, but she kept her voice steady, because that's what you do for a 5-year-old at 9:15 at night. "There's no man past the door, sweetheart. That's probably just Tyler messing with you. Let's get you back to bed." Emma let herself be walked back to her room without argument, which somehow made it worse. She wasn't scared. Exactly. She was used to it. Casey checked on Tyler next. He was awake too, sitting up in bed with his knees pulled to his chest, staring at his own closed door. "You heard it too," he said. Not a question. "Heard what, bud?" "The counting. He does it when someone's been up past 9 and the door's still shut. He wants somebody to open it before he gets to 100. And what happens at 100? Tyler looked at her like she'd asked something a person shouldn't ask out loud. "I don't know. Nobody's ever let it get that far." Casey told him to go to sleep, closed his door, and stood alone in the hallway for a second, right in the spot where Emma had been standing. And that's when she heard it herself. For the first time, a voice, low and unhurried, coming from behind the hallway door, counting 41. 42, 43. It wasn't loud. It wasn't threatening, even on its own. It was the tone that got under her skin, patient, almost bored, like a man doing a chore he'd done 1,000 times before and would do 1,000 times again. Casey backed away from the door and went straight downstairs, where the noise was fainter, and she could pretend she'd imagined the tone of it. She sat on the couch with her knees pulled up, phone in hand, telling herself it was a radiator, a pipe, a prank the parents had set up to test new babysitters. Anything. At 9:40, the counting stopped. The house went silent in a way that felt worse than the counting had. Then she heard footsteps coming down the stairs, slow ones, bare feet on wood, one step at a time. She stood up so fast, she knocked her phone off the couch. Tyler? Emma? No answer. The footsteps kept coming, unhurried, down through the dark of the staircase, and Casey backed toward the kitchen doorway with her heart slamming. And then, nothing. The footsteps just stopped mid-staircase, like whatever was making them had simply stood still. She didn't go look. She grabbed the landline off the kitchen wall. Her cell was still by the couch, and there was no way she was walking back over there, and called Mrs. Marlowe. Mrs. Marlowe picked up on the second ring, and Casey could hear restaurant noise behind her, silverware and conversation. So ordinary it almost broke her. "Something's wrong," Casey said. "I heard something counting behind the hallway door. And now there's footsteps on the stairs, and nobody's there." There was a long pause, long enough that Casey said her name twice. "Don't go near the stairs," Mrs. Marlowe finally said. And her voice had changed completely, flat, controlled, the voice of someone who has rehearsed this exact conversation in her head many times and hoped she'd never have to have it. "Get the kids, get in the pantry, and lock the door from the inside. We are 11 minutes away." "What is it? What's in the house?" "Casey, the pantry, now." Casey didn't wait for a better explanation. She ran up the stairs, right past whatever silence was sitting on them, grabbed a crying, confused Emma under one arm and pulled Tyler along by the hand, and got all three of them into the narrow kitchen pantry, pulling the door shut and holding the little hook and eye lock closed with her fingers, because there was nothing sturdier. Through the crack under the door, she watched a shadow cross the kitchen floor. Not a shadow cast by anything. There was nothing between the hall light and the floor to cast it. It just moved on its own, long and thin, dragging itself unhurriedly past the pantry, and paused directly outside the door. Something tapped the wood. Once, twice, then a third time, slow, deliberate, exactly like counting. Emma buried her face in Casey's shoulder. Tyler stared at the door, silent, his hand gripping Casey's shirt so hard his knuckles were white. The tapping stopped at the fourth knock. The shadow under the door slid away, and less than a minute later, headlights swept across the kitchen window, and Casey heard the front door burst open and Mrs. Marlowe's voice screaming their names. The Marlowes never fully explained it. Not that night and not after. What Casey pieced together over months of babysitting and small comments the kids let slip was this. The house had belonged to Mrs. Marlowe's grandfather, a man who'd kept the upstairs hallway locked for the last 20 years of his life and made every visitor swear never to open it after dark. He died in that house. Nobody would say exactly how. The family kept the rule going, not because they understood it, but because the one time, just once, years before Casey ever started sitting for them, they'd let the door stay open past 9. They lost track of Emma for 6 minutes. When they found her, she was standing at the very back of the hallway, in front of a door that led nowhere, counting along under her breath, perfectly in sync with something none of them could hear. Casey babysat for the Marlows twice more after that night. Both times, she made sure the hallway door was shut well before 9, and both times, nothing happened at all. No counting, no footsteps, no shadow. But on her last night there, right as she was leaving, Emma hugged her goodbye and whispered something against her ear. So quiet, Casey almost missed it. He says, "Thank you for not opening it." He says next time he'll only need to get to 50